Hi, this is Stephanie Hansen, and you are listening to Dishing with Stephanie's Dish. And I'm really excited today to talk about a trip that I am going to be leading in April. And I'm here with Bonnie Boisner, and she is with Borton Overseas Travel. And, you know, I am a big traveler. I love traveling. It has been my joy in life to travel into fun European countries. I've traveled all over the United States. I've got a van, and I honestly have never been to Costa Rica. So, Bonnie, I'm sure that that's hard to believe because I have been lots of places and I've been all over Mexico, but I'm dying to hear more about Costa Rica and excited that you are helping us coordinate this trip for Borton Overseas.
Well, I am really pleased to be here today with you, Stephanie. I'm excited about Costa Rica. It's a new launch destination for us. So we've just got some great things planned, of which you are one of the first to do with us. So we're excited.
You. I'm excited, and I know that the people that come along will have a great time. Just in general, I want people to know about what these trips feel like, because when Steph came back from her Iceland trip, I was really impressed with the coordination, all the fun activities that you guys did. These trips are small and intimate. There's usually less than 20 folks. So you really get to spend time with me as the host, but also like getting absorbed in the country that you're in. And in this case, we'll be in Costa Rica.
Well, I tell you what, that's exactly what we tried to do when we put these tours together at Borton Overseas. We want them to be small and intimate so that people get more into the culture, get more into whatever the theme of that is. Obviously, this one is the farm to table culinary theme. So we've got a lot of things set up here that are really going to talk to people really specifically about their interest. And really just traveling with you and having your input on these is going to be really great. We do group tours like this to our specialty destinations, and they're always a hit. Iceland being the most recent, which is really good.
Yeah. And I loved hearing from Steph about it because, you know, these trips are an investment for people. So they're not casually decided upon, right? People save, and these are new destinations. We're also coming out of COVID, which is a real hard time for people. I have traveled during COVID, and it was like, I felt like I had gotten back a part of myself that I had really missed. And, you know, we do take precautions on the airlines, and there's, you know, everybody's got their own level of comfort. I'm triple vaxxed at this point, so I feel real comfortable traveling, and I'm just excited to see Costa Rica because it's a warm destination in April, which, come on, that's great. But
it's really great.
And it's tropical, and we're not doing like the whole beach thing, but we're really leaning into the fruit of Costa Rica, as it were, the agricultural side and how that comes from farm to table. So can you just walk us through a little bit about like each day? And I know this is just a brief detail. So if you guys have additional questions, you can reach out to me and I'll connect you with Bonnie or answer those questions myself. But let's just go through like the general itinerary at a high level so people can get a feel for what we're going to be doing.
Okay, and that sounds great. So it's all about exploring the tastes and the aromas of the country and meeting the people that have taken some of these ancestral traditions into today's environment. So we have several of them. I'll just start with day one, how we go and where we go.
Yeah.
So the first day, obviously, we arrive. We're headed down to San Jose. We'll be arriving into the San Jose International Airport. And then we're going to be transferring to Turrialba, which is a town about maybe 2 hours from San Jose. And, you know, this is like an all day of travel. So we will get there, we'll check into our hotel and have a welcome dinner. So just kind of a really relaxing evening there. And this hotel that we're staying in, it's the Hotel Villa Florencia, and it's owned by a lovely Costa Rican couple. The chef is actually one of the owners, and we will be doing a cooking class with him on the next day. So we're really excited. They have a warm Costa Rican culture, and they have, they have a pool there. They have only 34 rooms total. So it's small and very intimate. We will start the next day with a trip out to Hacienda Cito de Mata. And what this is just, It's a lovely plantation. It's big. It has gone over the years from being a coffee plantation to a macadamia nut plantation to now a sugarcane plantation.
Wow. And those are all big, what is it? What is the word I'm looking for? Those are all big agricultural pieces of Costa Rica, as it were.
You're absolutely right. And what we'll do here is we'll tour the facilities. It sits on a hill and overlooks the Turrialba Valley. They're just stunning views. And what we'll do there is we'll have 3 different like workshops, learning pods.
Fun.
Not very long, maybe 20 to 30 minutes. And we'll talk about first the coffee and how it gets from the plant to the beans that we put in our grinders every morning.
Well, and we've heard a lot about like single origin coffee situations, and that's kind of all the rage now. It doesn't get more single origin than that, right?
Right. And they'll actually show you the history too on how it used to be done, when with their ancestors.
Sure.
So we'll do that with coffee, and then we'll do it with macadamia nuts. And then there's a great presentation on the sugarcane, and you'll see how they used to get the product out of the sugarcane plants to, get into like a brown sugar that's packaged and sent home with all the local people. It's really informative.
Cool.
And then we have a really nice traditional Costa Rican lunch in the restaurant. So that's a really good morning. We'll take it to early afternoon, and then we'll head back to the hotel where you can rest, or you can go into the town of Turrialba and just explore the small town, a small Costa Rican town. Maybe, have a cafe lunch there or a dinner there. Or just there's a couple other restaurants that you
Sure.
can experience there, or just hang out at the lodge. So that is actually the second day. And then on the third day, we will go to a botanical garden it's a research center. So we'll learn all about the tropical fruits at that botanical garden. We'll have lunch there so we can taste some of these exotic fruits that they grow. But it's really more of a research and education center on, the agriculture.
Now, Bonnie, you've been there. So can you think of a fruit that you've had in Costa Rica that felt like, wow, that's something that you hadn't had before?
Oh gosh, trying to think. I ate them all.
Because it's kind of strange how you wouldn't think, because we obviously import from the United States, we import fruit from everywhere,
Right.
But it is amazing when you go to these countries. I found this in the Caribbean. There were fruits that I'd never seen or heard of before.
Well, the 2 that stand out, obviously pineapple is a big one. Then you can get
Sure.
that from all over, but it tasted just so much sweeter there. The palm hearts was my big highlight of food that came from this tree that I saw how it was harvested and all of the effort that goes into this little piece of the palm, which is only, it could be a foot. And I think, well, that's why it's so expensive to buy,
Yeah.
just because these trees are huge, and what the product that they take out of them is not very big at all.
Yeah. And
That was actually a highlight. And we will be touring that palm plantation and having a lunch there the next day, actually.
Excellent.
Which the lunch, it's a 3-course lunch, all made with palm-based foods and ingredients.
Cool.
So that's a special place. It's owned by a woman who's built it on her own.
Oh, I love that.
She's a single woman who raised her kids with it.
I love it.
It's very authentic, and it was just delicious. I think it was probably one of my favorite meals that I had when I was there.
Okay. Hearts of palm too. You find them in salads in the United States, but beyond that, people don't cook with them that much. So that'll be fun too to discover how they use them.
Right. We will also, I backed up. I kind of skipped over the cooking class. So at our villa, the Villa Florencia, the owner is a chef. And he works very closely with this Katy Botanical Gardens that we will be going to. But they do cooking classes there.
Neat.
And they host a lot of different university events there. So I'm really looking forward to that. I got to go in and see his kitchen. I think I sent you some pictures.
You
on
did,
that.
yeah.
That's going to be a fun part. And then we will head down to let's see, on Wednesday, I think that's day 3. We will head down to an area called Puerto Viejo I can never say this. Serapeque. Thank you. It kind of comes out hard.
I won't hold you to any
Don't hold me
pronunciation.
to it. Yeah. And this is where we will have some activity, have our active day. The place that we're staying is the La Quinta Serapeque Lodge, and that is another very eco-friendly lodge that has 20 different 20 miles of walking trails. They have a botanical garden there. You can see all types of the cool little Costa Rican animals, the frogs, the caimans, and especially the birds. This lodge is heaven to bird watchers.
Love it.
In fact, they have a bird watching viewing area that bird photographers specifically, come from all over and spend hours there because they feed the birds every morning. So you have to get up early that day if you want to see a lot of them.
Yes.
And they feed the birds. They come in. These photographers have helped them design this viewing area too, so it's all natural.
Oh, that's great.
The birds will come in right in front of you. So that's going to be a special thing to get involved with there as well. And then we actually have the next morning, we get there in the afternoon. The next morning, we have our active day where you can go river rafting or just river floating if you don't want to go through any rapids, or do a canopy tour where you zip lining. So that morning is a fun, active adventure morning, not even 10 minutes from the lodge. So
I have never zip lined. And I'm terrified of heights and just the whole idea of it. So I feel like I'm going to force myself to do that. But I also love rafting and I love floating. I saw some pictures of the rafting. It looked really fun. So I want people to know if you're kind of a moderate adventurer, no problem. If you're someone that just likes a more low-key day, there's room for that too. There really is all different types of levels for this particular day. So I don't want that to scare anybody off because we're just going to have fun and try new things.
Right. And that it's going to be fun. And you need to do that canopy tour.
Yeah, I'm going to do it
at least once in your life.
Connie,
right.
you told me to do it. I'm going to do it, but I'm going to be screaming like a mad woman the whole way.
Oh, you'll be great. So that's the morning of that day in Puerto Viejo. I said it again. Puerto Viejo Sarapiqui. It's the Sarapiqui that keeps running me off. Okay, so then we are going to that afternoon, and this was another one of the highlights of the trip. We will be doing a chocolate process.
Wow.
Where it's a whole chocolate tour. It's a walking tour, and we're going to learn about every stage from the cacao plant to the making of the chocolate, to the roasting of the beans, and then how it gets into the chocolate we love today, the candy, the drinks, so that's a really fun tour. And we will have some tasting along with that tour as well. We all love chocolate. And then the next day, we are actually then headed back to San Jose. It's about a 2-hour, a little bit less than 2-hour drive. And we pass a very famous waterfall. It's La Paz Waterfall. And so we will stop there for some pictures. It's a beautiful area. So we'll not spend a lot of time there, but we'll stop for some photo ops. And then we're going to head to the Green Arc Botanical Gardens. And this is really something that's just going to awaken everyone's senses and then really know what the enjoyment is seeing it planted and then seeing it on your plate.
Right.
So this botanical garden is actually in terraces. It's actually in a small area, but the terraces that go up make it a very large garden. They have, I think, 1,600 different species.
There's this whole idea too about the terraces too and how they're designed to kind of trap water.
Mm-hmm.
So there's just a lot of agriculture and interest in, how they grow food and how they grow their medicinal plants there.
Right. Well, they have 4 terraces. They have a medicinal terrace garden, which is kind of fun, very interesting. And they have a culinary garden, which we'll go through because this is a guided tour through us. So they'll take us through all of these. And then they have a tropical food garden. And then they have an essential oils garden. So they have each of these gardens are on different terraces. And it's great. And they have a beautiful restaurant that we will all then enjoy a very nice lunch in.
So nice.
So from there, we'll head into downtown to San Jose, and we're going to be staying that night at a very nice hotel. It's called the Grand Hotel. It goes back 130 years, I believe, but it's beautiful. It's right in the city center. It's very close to museums. It's very close to shops. So we're going to give you some time to walk about and just kind of experience San Jose.
Get our shopping on.
Yep, get the shopping on. And then speaking of shopping, the next morning we are going to have a walking tour of the Central Market.
Oh, that's so fun.
That's a central must see sightseeing destination and attraction. And it has just numerous shops with foods, with handicrafts,
Great.
with just very, herbs and flowers. There's all kinds of things, what you would expect in a central market.
You really learn so much about a culture when you go to their markets. I mean,
you do. You
all
really
over Mexico, just going into the market and meeting the local purveyors and seeing the food they have. So I'm excited about that.
Good. That's a good place to get your souvenirs too.
Yeah.
So then we will come back and you have the afternoon free. Just explore on your own or enjoy the wonderful facilities of the Grand Hotel. It's a beautiful hotel. And then we'll gather that evening at a really a famous local restaurant. It's called the Restaurante Silvestri. And you're going to have probably the best dining experience of the whole trip will be here.
Oh, nice.
It's just a very, very nice restaurant, and we'll be able to gather and talk about the trip. So
that's great. Yeah.
All of our meals are, just with our group that are, included here. So we've got a lot of intimate time with each other too.
And that's our last night, right?
That's the last night. That's our farewell dinner. And then the next morning we will be escorted out to the airplane to board our flights home.
Okay, well, Bonnie, I am really excited about this trip. If listeners or people listening to the podcast want to get more information, what's the first step for them to take? Because the dates, sure. I don't have them right in front of me.
Sure. No, you could go on to bortonoverseas.com and there's a little search box on there and just pick culinary Costa Rica.
Okay.
And the package will come right up. There's other ways to get to it from our homepage, but that's probably the easiest one.
Okay.
There's tabs on the top that also has a link to that specific package as well.
Okay. And I'll include links in the podcast show notes too. So our dates are April. I'm sorry, I probably should have pulled these up before.
No, that's okay. They are April 3rd through the 10th.
So right as we're gearing up for spring, right before Easter time.
Exactly.
So it's a good time to get away, get some perspective, because after Easter comes and everybody gets the spring rebirth. Yeah. But before that, boy, are we ready to have a little humidity in our hair and a little feeling of travel and adventure. So thank you for helping coordinate this. I'm really excited about it.
We are too.
Okay. So thanks, Bonnie. We will talk soon. And
all right. Sounds good, Stephanie. All right, Stephanie. Thank you. Take care. Bye now.
All right. You too. Bye-bye.